They create hype out of nothing. Well, it's the first time anybody's done a left-handed free throw while 3 minutes left on the clock. And you're like, oh, who cares? What's in your coffee today, Rooney?
I don't drink coffee. It's Cinco de Mayo, though.
I hate the worm, man. Leave me alone.
All right, let's get this baby moving. What are we talking? Wow, if rates were to rise just 50 basis points more, or home prices were to increase just 5% more, home affordability would be the worst on record.
I can nor deny nor agree with that stat without seeing my charts. It's funny how you can effectively change the stats. Really, we all play stat. What's funny is, like, you watch a sporting event and they're like, that's the first time that's ever happened in 27 years. And you're like, oh, what are they talking about? They create hype out of nothing. Well, it's the first time anybody's done a left-handed free throw while 3 minutes left on the clock. And you're like, oh, who cares? So sometimes these stats are, like I always say, right now we are still affordable. You don't think those feds and everybody else is looking at that? They don't want to kill housing, guys. I'm telling you, it's too big of a beast. If they kill housing, everything else is screwed. We all saw what happened in the early, 2006 to 2010, 12. They don't want to do that again.
I also, and I've been saying it on here, that I think people need to start just looking at houses as, hey, I've got to get something. I want something, and that's the one I want, and I'm willing to pay a little more for it to have it. Rather than thinking, oh my gosh, we're so overpaying for something, but you're overpaying for everything right now. Yeah. You're paying way too much for a car. You're paying way too much for lumber, for your deck or your deck railings or whatever.
Or as most employers would say, we're paying you way too much to be here to do this task.
Yeah.
Right?
I saw something on Twitter. They were saying, what do you do at a desk job anyways? But it was so funny, the responses. Well, fantasy football, we have different boards. I do some emails and act like they don't do any work. It's like, there's a problem.
I do think that you'll have a little bit of remember when we used to work from home? That was awesome. You might hear that in the future.
Well, I don't know. Everyone I've talked to that's working from home says they're much more better for the company and it works really good. There's a few that, can't work at home. I'm one of those guys. I have a real hard time working at home. I have to go to my other home, Buffalo Wild Wings, to get my work done.
Surround yourself with inspiration. And I think that what happens is a lot of us got trapped into our houses and we're forced to work from home. And then you got a little kid going, Dad. A lot of those distractions have been handled. And you're right, Chris. I do believe there's a lot of people that can work from home effectively. But remember, the people that are telling you that are the people that are working from home, not their boss. Their bosses, a lot of times when you're working at executive levels, they do have a lot of their staff they can keep out in the field. But what they're saying is that they're having a heck of a time creating corporate culture through email, through Zooms, through whatever. And so what happens is you have no loyalty. They have to have interactivity and interaction with each other to create corporate culture, to keep people retained as employees. Otherwise, it's always, I'm going to the highest bidder. I'm just going to keep shopping until I'm making, whatever I need to make.
People thought this was a real estate show. This is good.
Yeah. I have a perfect transition from home affordability, working remotely, and Cinco de Mayo. I have found 4 Mexican properties that might shock you guys, and we're going to check them out. We're going to hear your guys' thoughts and see if it's a good deal for our listeners to snag.